Members of Congress once again find themselves staring down the possibility tonight of a government shutdown of their own making. The Speaker of the House pushing for a vote as soon as tomorrow and predicting success to my colleague Manu Raju.
The CR will pass.
What if it gets blocked?
I don't think it's going to get blocked.
What makes you so confident that it will pass?
Because no one wants to shut the government down, and we are governing, doing the responsible thing as Republicans.
Whether the Speaker is right depends, in large part, on my next guest, Republican Congressman Tim Burchett of Tennessee. Congressman, should the Speaker be confident as he is there?
We'll see. It's close. The vote's close.
What are you voting?
I haven't decided yet. It's one of those things that I'll think about tonight, and I'll pray about it, and I'll figure out what to do. I have some questions, though, that remain to be answered. What
questions do you have about this legislation?
Well, first of all, I was disappointed that we didn't have any of the cuts in there that DOJ has talked about. But then, of course, the legal folks tell me that it wouldn't be prudent or proper or legal actually to put it in a bill like this. It has to come later.
Yeah, but that is confusing because if Elon Musk is cutting what he says he's cutting, I asked about this last week. Why would you vote to fund that again if you think it's waste, fraud, and abuse?
Well, that's a great question, and we've continued to fund it for probably 20 years. But the truth is that it's not legal to put it in a bill of this the substance. That needs to come later, and I hope that it does. I would vote on a bill if you just put them all together, all the cuts.
We heard tonight that President Trump was making calls to people that they were worried would vote no. Has he called you yet?
I talked to him several times last week, and I have not talked to him this week about after this has come out. I'm sure when he sees this or someone tells him that I'm on here, I'll probably get a call.
So you do expect a phone call from him?
Sure.
And could he change your view?
Well, my concerns are, this is the first time since I've been in Congress, which I'm glad of, that we are actually putting cuts in there. There's several $1 billion less than the year previous. I would like us to go back to pre-COVID level spendings, but I realize that we don't have the guts to do that either. Neither party has the guts to do that. But there's savings in there, and they're making cuts in different departments. But the Pentagon always gets their cut, and I don't like that. They're war pimps, and they've continuously raised. We've raised the amount of money we send them. They've had eight audits, and they have not only have they not passed an audit, they have not completed an audit. They're very arrogant. And how did we punish them the last NDAA? We gave them $8 billion new dollars, and both parties do it.
I did look into this. Part of the funding is a pay raise for some of the troops, and in the CR that you're going to see here, and what that is. But can you just tell me, are you leaning towards voting yes or towards voting no? And why have you not decided yet if the vote is tomorrow? It's been out since this weekend.
I'm not leaning either way. I'd like to get some answers first before we get there. I would like to know that in the future that we are gonna look at that. We are going to audit the Pentagon. They are going to have to pass an audit. They're going to have to count for every dollar. And I suspect DOJ is going to make, when they get into the Pentagon and Department of Education and some others, the waste, abuse, and fraud will be considerable. I think it will be shocking to some Americans.
But I counted, and you have voted against at least 38 different federal budget resolutions in your time on the Hill. Why would you vote yes now?
There's actual cuts in there. The first time.
It has nothing to do with the fact that if you vote no, it could shut the government down?
I voted to we've shut the government down multiple times.
But the margin is smaller this time. And if, right now there's one hard no vote, Thomas Massey. I don't know of any definite no's. And we see people go from hard no to yes, sometimes pretty quickly.
Very quick.
So why would you vote yes this time if typically you vote against something like this?
Because this is the first time since I've been in Congress that we've decreased the size of government, literally. And if you add interest in, it's even more. Inflation in, it's even more. But it's several billion. I think it's around $20 or $30 billion, but it's a start.
So it doesn't bother you that essentially what you would be voting for, though, are spending levels that were agreed to by President Biden and
Nancy Pelosi,
Chuck Schumer.
I don't like that one bit, but it is a reduction. And to shut the government down, I think just being politically, the Democrats would talk. They would. This shows the game of politics. The Democrats before, when we were shutting the government down, this is the worst thing that could ever happen. It's the Republicans' fault. But now they're going to shut it down. They're not going to vote for the CR, which is almost at the same levels as they passed under Schumer and Pelosi. And now that it's on us, it's like, oh, this is the worst thing in the world. And it's just a game back and forth. That's all it is.
Do you think, though, that given that Trump is in the White House and Republicans control both chambers of Congress, if the government shuts down, Republicans will bear the blame for that?
Sure, but the reality is it doesn't show up at the polls.
What do you
mean? In the past, it doesn't.
You think voters don't care?
They care, but a lot of people are saying shut it down. When they've seen the amount of abuse that's going on and the theft, the outright theft that's going on with their tax dollars, when the average Tennessean, and they're probably on the lower end of the scale because their dollars go a lot farther because we manage our state very well. When they see the average Americans out $600 more a month just to survive, they're saying, what in the world is the government doing? And then when they see the waste, abuse, and fraud that DOJ is exposing, they're livid. They are livid.
But what does it say if Democrats remain unified and not voting for this and not supporting it, and Republicans are not unified?
Well, I'm sure you all will say that the Republicans don't care and want to shut the government down. But that's, as you just saw, the Speaker of the House, who said it a lot more eloquent than I did, that he doesn't think we're going to do that.
But you are the one who decides that, essentially.
I am.
And you have not, it's 9:26 p.m. and you have not decided how you're going to vote tomorrow.
That's correct. That's the beautiful thing about it.
Could President Trump sway your vote with a phone call?
Yeah, possibly.
Because he did on the budget resolution last month.
Yeah, and because he made some commitments in that. But and if he commits that we are going to audit the Pentagon, we are going to look at decreasing the amount of money that they get. It's not my dad's warfare anymore. Daddy fought in the Pacific, the Second World War. My mama flew an airplane during the Second World War, lost her brother fighting the Nazis. But when Daddy was in the Pacific fighting the Japanese, Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, and the economic might of the country revs up. 6 months later, we're going across the Pacific. Those wars, they will not happen like that. It'll be drones, it'll be unmanned flights. It'll be a lot cheaper. And that's one of the things, conversations I have with Elon Musk as well about the potential of our warfare being a lot cheaper, although more technically advanced.
We'll see what his efforts at the Pentagon looks like. Congressman, let us know when you decide how you're going to vote. Thank you very much. Appreciate you coming.